This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 68 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's topic is sponsored by Equestrian Collections for the whole universe of equestrian shopping at your fingertips at a price you can afford. Enjoy today's tip. Glenn the Geek back with you from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're listening to Horse Tip Daily. Today we have back with us one of the most enjoyable and passionate horse dentists that you're going to find anywhere in the horse world. He's the most popular equine dentist on Twitter and in real life, too. He has a website called theequinepractice.com, and he travels the country practicing his craft. He uses the tagline, Equine Dentistry Without Drama, and is an advocate of no power tools. When he is around the horse's mouth is a power tool-free zone. We'll get Geoff on the line right after we speak to you about Equestrian Collections and what you can win with Equestrian Collections. Right now, Equestrian Collections was kind enough to donate a whole bunch of stuff that we have available on the Stable Scoop Fall Giveaway. That's the Stable Scoop radio show, one of the other shows that I do here in the network. We have a fall giveaway of some great Mountain Horse merchandise, from Mountain Horse Ladies Arena jacket worth $140 to a Mountain Horse or a Horseware New Market human throw rug. It's a human blanket that looks just like the New Market rugs, those gold and red ones that you've seen for years and years and years. Plus, Mountain Horse Unisex Ultra Socks. You can win any one of those great things over at Stable Scoop. Just go to stablescoop.com and follow the link in the middle of the page there. And it's free and easy to sign up, no obligation to do anything. We just want to give away stuff. Equestrian Collections is good like that. They're also the place to go for all your fall and winter merchandise. Stop over to equestriancollections.com and check out the hundreds of products that they have available for you and for your horse this fall and winter. That's equestriancollections.com. Now on with Dr. Geoff Tucker. Well, Dr. Tucker, it's always a pleasure to have you on Horse Tip Daily, and it's always a pleasure to speak with you. It seems like we always get off topic, no matter how hard we try to stay on the tip. You and I just together, we're definitely going to have to meet sometime and just have dinner so we can actually talk off topic for a while.
All right, well.
Next time you're in Kentucky, let me know, all right?
Oh, absolutely. I would love to. You know, I had dinner with two Twitterers, one of which you know, Equine Collections.
Oh, did you? They're a good sponsor of our shows.
Exactly. Well, we had dinner in Fairfax, Virginia the other day.
Chris.
It was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? To be honest, I've never met her, and I've known her for like 12, 13 years. We started our tack shops at the same time when my wife and I had ours, and we knew her back then, and I've known her ever since, and then she's a big sponsor of the show. I've never met her. So you're one up on me.
Yeah. Oh.
She seems she's another one, too, that really, like you do, really gets new media and the social networking aspect of what the world is going to become.
Oh, her business blew me away. I mean, once I realized what she does, the amount of technology that she uses just blows my mind.
Yes,
amazing.
Agreed. And I'll put a plug in for it. It's equestriancollections.com. Well, now let's talk about the equinepractice.com. What tip do you have for us today?
Well, this one is the one the ladies will talk about forever.
I do have a beeper button here in case we need it.
I call it Flabby cheeks.
Is there a liposuction for that?
Well, you know, I'm scared to work on it for one simple reason that. Well, let me get into what Flabby.
Okay, yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's something I call. It's actually redundant or excessive tissue inside the horse's mouth. The horse has a place called the bars. The bars is that space where there's no teeth between the front teeth and the incisors and the cheek teeth in the back.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's where the bit lays.
Right.
And if you could stand right directly in front of your horse and make sure the horse is kind of relaxed, and just stick your thumb in, just facing down, just where the bit goes, and then just push down on the jaw, and then after pushing down on the jaw, not real hard, but just down, and kind of push backwards towards the back of his mouth, you'll a wave of flabby cheek tissue that wells up in front of your thumb and it hits the first cheek tooth.
Oh, you mean that's not really rigid and
no,
it's softer than you imagine then, huh?
And every horse is different. Now, most horses, it's not a problem. You get a little bit in there. It's no big deal. You push it back. It's no big deal. Other horses, you get a mass of this stuff. Now, I really encourage your listeners to go to my website, theequinepractice.com, and go to the tab called Articles, and then scroll down there to the article called Flabby Cheeks, and then click on that, and I have a picture of a horse with flabby cheeks, and this is a gross exaggeration of flabby cheeks. It's really, once you see it, and I put arrows on it so you can see it. Once you see it, you'll get it. What's really interesting is this horse that's in the picture, I could float its teeth all day and back, but as soon as I got to the first cheek teeth on the bottom and tried to round them off, what people call the bit seat, this horse would rather have died than have me do this.
Huh.
And I needed to drug this horse and kill the pain before I could get in there around the cheek tooth off. And what I try and do is the first bottom cheek tooth, if left alone, has a shape kind of like the bow of a ship, pointed and tall like the Titanic. And what we bit seat is round that off so it looks more like the bow of a tugboat, rounded and smooth. And that allows this flabby or excessive cheek tissue to ride up in there and then come back out and have a safe place out. Because when you put a bit in there, and I will say, I call bit hardware, the more hardware you have in there, for instance, a double bridle is 2 bits, or if you have a thick bridle, it seems to be worse. It tends to push that back in there and trap it and pinch it.
Well,
and for some reason,
I'll tell you what, I just went to your website and looked at this picture. Other than it's gross, I can't see how, I see exactly what you're saying. I can't see how there'd be room for a bit.
Exactly.
In this horse especially. I mean, you said this is sort of an exaggerated example, but boy, oh boy.
Right. Yeah. And not all horses that have this excessive tissue have a problem. It goes back to my first tip about threshold of pain, and that's why I made it my first tip, because it plays into everything we do in the horse's mouth and also everywhere else. But some of these horses, they can have a lot less than what's in. And I try and float them, and if I'm not giving them drugs, there is no way I'm going to get them done. So if you have a horse that has a problem on the bit, it's very resistant, or like the gal said today, I have a lot of problems. But the worst thing is when I take the bit out of the horse's mouth at the end of the exercise, the horse kind of clamps his mouth and won't let go. And that's the type of horse that's just, oh gosh, it hurts. And it's usually the first cheek tooth. And you round that up as best you can. And this goes back to the beginning of our discussion about liposuction. I would love to get in there and do some plastic surgery and get rid of that. But I haven't talked to anybody about it, who's really a good surgeon. But I'm always worried doing surgery in the mouth because if the horse stops eating, that's not good.
Yeah, and we got that whole bacteria issue and all of that stuff too.
Yeah, so I think the best thing to do is, in these horses, go ahead and round that first cheek tooth up as best you can. You got to pull all that tissue out of the way just to get down in there and smooth things out. And once it's smooth, these horses tend to go a whole lot better. A whole lot better.
I can honestly say I never knew about flabby cheeks. Well, other than my own, but I know what that's caused from.
Yeah. You're not going to find that written anywhere, and that's what blows them off. A lot of these theories, this pseudoscience I call it, that's coming up around dentistry, is other things, and nobody's addressing what I find is a real issue, and that's the threshold of pain right there in what's sitting right there. Get rid of that pain, and almost every horse I know starts to relax. All the dental disease in the mouth goes away. And here's an interesting thing. Horses that I float over several years, their teeth line up as if they're wearing braces. They square up, and they're perfect. And that's only because the horse is now allowed to chew without pain.
Now, if we could only come up with those whitener strips we talked about in the last tip.
Well, my dental floss is still on sale.
Thank you, Dr. Tucker. I'll tell you what we'll do in our show notes, too, at Horse Tip Daily for this episode. We'll put a link directly to that article and that lovely picture you have on there.
Oh, that'd be great. Super.
All right, and that's all can be found at theequinepractice.com, just like it says, just like it's spelled. And you can follow Dr. Tucker in a number of different ways on Facebook, on Twitter. We're trying to get his numbers up to over 2,000 on Twitter, so go on there and follow him. I know you guys are out there doing Twitter now more and more. We're finding the horse community out there helping us out. So we encourage them to stop over and follow you. And you are Equine Practice on Twitter as well.
Super.
Well,
Thanks,
have a good drive to your next destination. And everybody be sure to check out all the cool barn pictures he takes. He posts those on Twitter. He takes pictures of a lot of the barns he goes to across the country. And I find that very fascinating. And it's always fun to see how the other side lives in some cases.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Tucker. We'll talk to you again soon.
Take care. Appreciate it. Bye.
Well, thank you to Dr. Tucker again for joining us today. It's always fun to have him on, and he'll be back periodically with a variety of useful tips on the horse's mouth. If you like Dr. Tucker and want to learn more about him, it's theequinepractice.com. Be sure to watch his video podcasts that he records while driving down the road. As we mentioned, they're a lot of fun. You can also follow him on Twitter at Equine Practice. Please drop me an email at glenn@horseradionetwork.com and let me know if you're enjoying the show. Do you have any specific tips you want to hear about or any experts you want to hear on the show? Or if you're an expert yourself, let me know. We'd love to have you on. And don't forget to check out all the other great shows on the network at horseradionetwork.com. Well, I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone.